Well, welcome back. This is going to be a really exciting second half of our morning today. Thrilled to introduce our next speakers, who happen to be the founders of Merchology, who partnered with big brands to reinvent the corporate swag business. And guess what? They have kindly donated some of that swag to give away today. Ali Delgado, Richard Ward, and Andrew Ward, come on up on stage. You guys are the bearer of good news today. It's good to have you guys up here. Good to have you up here. We're going to put you to work right away. Hi, Ali. So this is really fun. So I've got these lovely folks with me on stage. Before we have them sit, they get to be the bearers of good news. We are going to give away 3 Yeti tumblers, okay? Again, your butt has to be in a chair when we call this. That's the rules I was given by the U.S. Chamber, which I presume that means there's some sort of governmental oversight here, so I have to follow these rules. You got to be seated to win. Find your seat if you're not already seated. If you win, just raise your hand, and then you can see Alex at registration to claim your prize. Alrighty, let's bring up the magical fishbowl that we have. Here are the folks who have entered. Alrighty. Ali, you get to pull the first name and read off the name of our first winner of a Yeti tumbler.
All right, Justin Nielsen.
Justin Nielsen.
All right.
Yeah, in a high tub. Way to go, Justin. You win. Make sure you see Alex at registration. We'll hang on to that. Next up, we've got winner number 2 of a Yeti tumbler. The winner is?
Dan Grady.
Oh, Dan.
Where's Dan?
Here. Oh, there we go.
Dan here? Dan's here. Oh, Dan. Way to go. All right. Dan's a big winner. And finally, the winner is of a Yeti tumbler.
Emily Strandberg from Styles by Emily.
Emily Strandberg? Guys, don't act like you don't want her to not be here. You don't want her here. Is Emily Strandberg going once, going twice? Hand raised if you're here. Oh, snap. Here we go. All right, here we go. Who is the winner of our 3rd Yeti tumbler going to be?
Becky Amble from Future Focus.
Is that you, Becky
All
Amble?
right.
All right. There we go. We got 3 winners here. All right, you guys can see Alex at registration. How about a big thank you to Merchology as well? Isn't that fun? At the end of our program, they will give away 2 more tumblers and the grand prize today, a Yeti cooler. Okay, so you do not want to miss that. You guys can have a seat. Thank you so much for joining us here. They're going to be hanging out here because this is our next panel that we've got. You can read more about Merchology on Co. That is a new website launched by the U.S. Chamber this year. Co happens to be packed with all sorts of fiercely relevant content just for you. I think that this crowd especially is going to love it. It's aimed at giving you some really actionable insight that you need to run and grow your business. And we are delighted to announce that for the very first time today, the Small Business Series is going to join forces with Co for future events, including a really fresh take on the National Summit in October. We will tell you more about that National Summit and how you can join us there in D.C. It is a really fantastic event. With that, would you help me welcome to the stage Jeanette Mulvey, the content director for Co. She is here to interview our Merchology founders. Come on up. Nice to have you. So welcome.
Hi, everyone. So I had the pleasure of interviewing you guys for the story we did on Co. So after this event, you can check out the whole story on Merchology. So in 2014, you guys launched Merchology with $75,000. And this year, you are on track to do $50 million in sales. So I wanted to frame this conversation with that so that you'll really be paying attention. So, Ali, just tell us in 30 seconds or less, what is it that you guys do?
Yes, so Merchology is an online retailer of apparel and gifts for companies. So our tagline is your logo plus brand you love, which pretty much sums up what we do. We offer awesome retail brands such as Under Armour, Yeti, obviously, Patagonia, Swell, Moleskine, and we add company logos to them. The companies then give out those items to their employees or their clients to show appreciation.
Dick, you worked in this industry for a very long time. And you saw that there were ways that you could do things differently, and that's why you started this company. So tell us a little about what you were seeing as lacking in this industry and what made you decide to disrupt it with Merchology.
Well, the first thing, as Ali just mentioned, it's brands. And for me, it's always been about brands. We brought the first brands to this channel. So we want to sell better brands versus the cheap tchotchke stuff, which we've got 22,000 competitors with 120,000 salespeople. And we create a pure e-commerce company where we have no salespeople. It's strictly all done online with our search and social. And so we want to be a little bit different in, how do we get to these customers with those brands, and doing it just pure e-commerce. There's a little bit of a leap of faith here. I was in a previous company as a partner, and I spent a third of my time out in the field talking to customers, and I started to hear occasionally people are going online and looking for product, and then occasionally they'd actually even buy the product versus coming through the normal industry channels. And I said to my partner, I said, we need to do this. And it was a little bit of a leap of faith, and so I created a site. We got a few small orders, and I thought, I think there's something big here. And so I left that company as 50% partner of that, and later sold out to that to start this company, and the leap of faith has worked out so far.
So I think one of the reasons, from what I understand, that everyone doesn't do this is because part of the challenge is that the vendors, the companies whose products you are providing to companies to put their logos on, are not comfortable selling directly to those companies. And so, Andrew, we talked a lot about your role as the intermediary between the vendors whose products you're selling and the end customer. Because unlike a lot of businesses where you're really just focused on customer relationships, your company needs to not only focus on customer relationships, but really on your relationships with your vendors. So can you tell us more about what that entails?
100%. So as Ali mentioned, we are selling some of the top retail brands in the world. These brands are getting inquiries from business buyers that want to buy in bulk. They want their order to be customized. They need a high level of customer service because it could be for an event, it could be a rush order, it could be products that need to be personalized with people's names. And these brands that we work with, they're phenomenal at creating product and marketing that product. Once you start adding logos and you need decoration equipment and you need customer service, it's just not within their wheelhouse. So that's where we come in, and we really see ourselves as an extension of these brands. They know that they can refer people to us. They know that we are going to represent their brands in the best light, and that we're going to respect their wishes when it comes to the brands or the companies that we are putting on their products. So really it's a win-win all around. For the brands, we're solving a problem. For the customers, we're solving a problem, and we're proud to be in the middle of it.
And some companies have chosen you really as the exclusive B2B distributor of their products. So Carhartt, Under Armour, correct?
Yes. They actually have links on their site to come to Merchology. We have a few other brands that will introduce us to customers over email, and there's instant trust there for the end buyer that's looking for product. They know that they're going to be in good hands with us. So it's definitely a big part of our business.
So Ali, we talked a lot about the potential of B2B businesses, and one of the ways that you guys envision disrupting this industry is by having a really strong e-commerce component, as Dick said. Can you explain the e-commerce component of your business? And I was particularly interested in the relatively new feature of companies having a company store, essentially, on your website.
Yeah, absolutely. So we always say that promotional products is kind of the last industry to be disrupted by the internet. So as Dick said, it's a $23 billion industry. The biggest player in the industry in general has only 5% market share, so it's extremely fragmented. And then we estimate less than 8% of the business in our industry is done online. So there's still a lot of progress to be made, which is why we see so much opportunity. I think in B2B sales in general, we've had traditional salespeople that want to meet face-to-face. They want to bring samples. They want to build a relationship. And there's a place for that, but I think with millennial buyers, they don't have time for meetings. They just want to buy everything online. And they're comfortable buying things online, even with their company credit card when they're spending thousands of dollars. So that's really been a big opportunity for us, but it's still relatively new to this industry. Company stores in particular are a way for a centralized buyer, so kind of the person who organizes the swag order, everyone has one of those people at their office, to set up an online marketplace that's closed just for their company. They kind of predetermine what are the items that are going to be in the store, and then they can send a link to their employees to pick out something, and then they can do one final checkout at the end. So it's a good way to bring the chaos to an end and just do it electronically versus sending around a spreadsheet or a piece of paper to write down what you'd like.
And to offer a lot more variety of products than they maybe would be able to if they were not able to send people to one central location.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. You guys are sort of in expansion mode, and you've made the decision to bring some things in-house that you had been outsourcing. So I'm going to direct this question at you, Dick, but embellishment, embroidery, things that you were able to outsource before you've decided to bring in-house. And I think that no matter what business everyone in this audience is in, they're all in the same situation, which is that there are things you try to outsource to other people because you don't want to be an expert at everything. So could you tell us a little bit about your experience with that and why you decided to bring some of that functionality in-house?
So in the original business plan, we were never going to be doing this decoration ourselves. And so the business plan has to evolve, and we kind of say we reinvent ourselves about every 6 months. We take on new challenges that we didn't see before. But on the decoration side of it, which is actually putting the logo on the garment, we were getting let down by our subcontractors in the fourth quarter, which is our peak season. And so we kind of made the decision that this can't go on. So we acquired one of those subcontractors. But as we've grown in this business over the last 5 years, this has become a lot more and more of an Amazon world. Speed is everything. And the industry norm is 30 days for delivery. We're 10 to 12 days, and we're kind of coming to the realization that what if we were 2 days? What if we were 3 days? What if we were 4 days? We could never do that with a subcontract decorator. We have to control the processes ourselves. We have to own the equipment. We need to have those people as our employees. And the third part of this is we need to be closer to our customers. The bulk of our customers are on the coast, whether it be California or New York or Florida or Texas. And so we decided we're going to put a decoration facility in Reno, and that launched in March. And we're going to be launching one later this year in Louisville, which are UPS's 2 biggest shipping hubs. So we can get the product from our brand partners quicker, and we can get it back to the customers faster. And at the end of the day, we're going to win or lose based on speed because the world's changing, it's changing faster and faster, and we just think that if we can control that part of the business, we can turn that into a real asset versus having it be a liability, particularly during the peak season.
Was it about quality as well?
Quality was part of it. I will say this, the decorators that we worked with, and a couple of them I'd known a very, very long time, but at the peak of the season, that's when the quality kind of wavers a little bit, and you want to control that as much as you can. So we want to control the quality, we want to control the speed, and we want to deliver on our promise of delivery dates.
Andrew, we talked about your relationships with vendors and you acting on their behalf. Tell us more about your experience with customer service on the customer side. I know you're responsible for that, and I'm sure that no matter what business you're in, customer service is really key. So what kind of customer service challenges have you been facing, and how have you been dealing with those?
Yeah, growing from 0 to 50 million in 5 years has its challenges. When we've got 59,000 customers that we're servicing, there's a lot of wants and needs. And our job as leaders is to listen to our customers and meet them where they need to be met. As Dick mentioned, we live in an Amazon world. People want to know, what are my options? What is the highest quality product? What do other people think about it? Customer reviews. When will I get it to my door? Can I track my order throughout the ordering process? Is somebody going to take my phone call if I call this company, or is this a company that's going to hide and not have a live chat or a phone number anywhere like some of these big companies? And over the course of time, we've learned a lot just by listening to our customers. Every order that goes out, we ask our customers to evaluate us, give us feedback. What did we do well? What didn't we do well? We read through hundreds of these every single month, and it's really where we've gotten a lot of our inspiration to evolve our business, and that being with tools that we built into our site, company stores being one of them. We built what we call a logo hub. It's a interface that allows a customer after they place their order to go in and approve or edit their logo before we apply it to their product. We launched a product or an interface last year called Merch Tracker. Does anyone know Domino's Pizza Tracker? We've got that for your swag. So we've incorporated a lot of requests from our customers and just listened to them along the way. We recently launched an account management team, knowing that some of our customers are very large and require a lot of hand-holding. Even if we're not meeting them face-to-face, they may need to talk frequently. And that's not as simple as just sending them to a self-serve website.
Sure.
So again, just really incorporating that feedback loop and then taking that information and building it out.
While we're talking about customers, before I was chatting with you over there and we talked about content, and I think content is something that's of course on my mind all the time, but I think every business now, no matter what they do, no matter what size, knows that content is really essential.
Yep.
And so I was curious how you guys were dealing with content in terms of needing content to not only acquire new customers, but to really connect you with existing customers and keep you at the forefront of their mind. So I was interested in what you had to say, which is that you've recently committed to the idea that you really need to have an in-house content team. So do you?
Yeah. So as I'd mentioned earlier, we hired our first SEO specialist who reports up through Allie's team in marketing. And when we started the business, it was outsourced, and we actually did some of it ourselves, and writing blog posts and product descriptions. And as our business has grown, we realized how much money we were spending getting other people to write content for us that we said, you know, like anything, you reach a certain point where you say, I got to bring this in-house, and we did. And it's been a huge success. We do work with some external partners, but it's all about evaluating when is the time to do that. You need to reach a certain size in your business to justify the ROI that it's going to take to pay somebody to sit and write, or several people to write for you. But content is king, and that's where the future is. You know, people are getting numb to advertising, and they want information that's actually going to be valuable, not just, you know, impressions stuffed in their face, because that doesn't do anything for them.
Yeah. I'm going to ask Allie one more question, and then I'm going to go to the audience for some questions, so you guys start thinking. Allie, between you and, so in case I didn't say this in the beginning, Allie and Andrew are brother and sister, and Dick is their dad. So Allie and Andrew, between the two of you, you have 5 children under the age of
6.
6.
Yes.
So sounds a little chaotic. And just tell me about that, about being a family business, working with your brother, working with your dad, having all these kids, you know, what's it like?
Yeah, so we are definitely a true family business in that our kids come into the office a lot and run around and cause chaos. But our employees are all really good sports and good with kids. But it's been a crazy 5 years to build the business, and then also for Andrew and I to each start families with our spouses. But it's really forced us to be focused on the business, and we're focused at home, and there's not really room for many distractions beyond that. But I think, you know, it's also fun to work with your family every single day. And I think what's great about having them as partners is that you always have each other's backs and best interests in mind. So Dick has been great about supporting us with any family commitments we have, doctor appointments. Obviously, those are his grandkids, so he wants us to be there for them. And, you know, we have moments, too, where, you know, we're always worried about each other's physical and mental well-being. And as, you know, partners, but also family members, you can kind of gut check each other. So just an example of that, which is kind of unique to the family setting, is last Friday, Dick had been traveling all week, and he was super exhausted and stressed out, and we were in this meeting, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to break from partner mode and just say, Dad, you need to go home and take a nap. So he did, but we care about each other and we want what's best for each other as well as the business, of course.
Okay, so we have time for a few questions. There are mic runners there. Does anyone have any questions? He's right behind you.
Dan Grady with NG2. I'm a huge fan of your company. We use you on all of our swag that we
I
give
thought
out.
your logo looked familiar. I pulled your card. I'm like, I'm seeing
that-
something here.
That was not, anyway. 'Cause I was
Actually, we
accused
used
of
your
that
logo
earlier.
in our advertising. We hope that's okay.
Yeah,
I recognized it as well.
but my employees love the really good quality brands that you have, so it's just awesome. But how many employees do you have? How big are you?
We currently have 102 employees. Most of them are based in Minneapolis. 13 of them are based in Reno. Something else that's kind of cool about our employee base is we're actually 80% women and 30% minorities. So it's a diverse group, and go girls.
Well, hats off, and the customer service has been awesome too. So
Fantastic.
Many of them are sitting right here.
Yeah.
Another question?
Thank you.
Hello, guys. My name is Jonas. My question is, when you go back, when you started from zero, how did you build trust with the Under Armour, with Nike, for allowed them to work with you?
I got this. So that's a great question, because everybody else in our industry is uncomfortable going and seeing these brands, and you got to get used to the word no. It took me 4 years to get opened up with Under Armour, and I went back to Baltimore at least 2 to 3 times a year to get opened with them, and I did the same thing with Nike and a lot of these other brands, Patagonia, etc. And the bottom line is they got to see you over and over again and see that you're not going away, and that you do what you say you're going to do, and you get a few successes and you use them as references and you build on that. So I think the bottom line on it is get used to no, and then continue to just follow through on your promises, and you'll make a lot of progress.
I think we have time for one more. One more question.
Hi, Jeffrey Miller with Compass Leadership. You talked about your key partners and the determination of ROI to bring that in-house. Can you talk a bit more deeply about how you make that determination? I know every small business looks to leverage key partners, but how do you make that decision to bring things in-house?
I think
I'll add to whatever you're going to go.
Okay, I would say our team will probably laugh, but we kind of wait until it's painfully obvious, and then we decide to bring it in-house. But I mean, as business owners, we have a responsibility to run a company that's financially sustainable. So we outsource until we absolutely are positive that we can bring it in-house and support it long-term. We take making jobs very seriously, so you never want to create a job unless you know that there's a long-term path for that person. But one thing that Dick has really taught us as a small business owner, that we're a bootstrap company, is that you have to really have a case no matter what it is that you're investing in, whether it's an employee or an ad or a new facility. You have to have a case for how it will pay itself back, and that's allowed us to be profitable while growing, which is kind of a unique thing to see in high-growth startups.
I would add to that as well that in this day and age, there's so much you can do online, and it doesn't take a ridiculous budget to try some things. We've got how many different campaigns and ideas we've tried with, $500 budgets and $1,000 budgets. We're not talking about crazy sums of money to see, is this something that we need to go long into? So placing lots of small bets, I would say, is another thing to consider before you go all in, whether it's hiring a full-time employee or segmenting a big chunk of your budget towards an investment to get more customers or get more suppliers.
Dick, we have 30 seconds. Do you have one piece of advice for somebody who wants to grow their company in the way that you have in such a short period of time?
I was telling my son here when we were standing over here earlier, I went to the University of Minnesota, and I used to go to events like this when I was in school, and I always wanted to own my own business, and I graduated from Carlson, and those dreams are, from where I came from, it's hard to do it. You have to do it yourself, and there is a lot of bootstrapping, and there's a lot of, you have to have the desire, you have to get used to hearing no, but it's up to you, and at the end of the day, you can do it if you choose to do it. And I would say that, I'm an example of, of a Minneapolis kid and the University of Minnesota. And if you have the desire and you can accept hearing the word no over and over again, and you want to chase it, you can get there. This is my 5th company in the last 33 years, and I've been very, very fortunate and very, very lucky. But I would just say, if you want to do it, you can do it. This is a country where you have the opportunity, and I'd encourage everybody. Small business is what made this country, and it's what makes this country today. Small business.
Thanks. It's a great place to end it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.